And this is Gary J. Russin with a short 10-minute podcast to talk about what's coming up on Gjrb in the month of April. Stay tuned to Gjrb Online. I hope you'll tune in the month of April. We got some great programming planned. First off, I want to remind you that this week is Spontaneous Week. Usually toward the end of the month, I do a week where we just do whatever, whenever on the air. No program schedule, just we go on the air for the sake of going on the air with whatever program I decide I want to do. And the programs could be a Good Times, Great Oldie Show, Back to the 80s, and any other programs with some music. Also, we'll do maybe even a sports page. We'll do different things on different shows, and of course Christian message, and Christian rock, and rock worship. It's a preview of some of the programs coming up in April here on Gjrb Online, including some programs that are going to be tried as I try to revamp my radio schedule. As I told you on the Gary Russell program Saturday Extra this afternoon, the program schedule here on Gjrb Online is going to be changing again. Now, back in February, I had programs scheduled, and I already had everything set up. I did a trial run of the program schedule, but that program schedule just did not work out. There are some snags in the program schedule, conflicts with things going on family-wise, things I have a worker. We do different things at the church, and there's some different schedules that are conflicting here at this point. So I have to rejuggle the program schedule a little bit, and there will be some programs that might be eliminated and some programs that will stay. I'm thinking about some programs that are going to have separate seasons that will be on every so many months. That I can't fit in the regular program schedule. The main programs that will be on the schedule and will air regularly are the Gary Russell program and its family of programs. The Gary Russell program Saturday Extra will be heard every Saturday. Okay? Except for the first Saturday of the month when I do the Best of Jazz. But I could be doing, and I'm planning on doing, is recording the Best of Jazz as a podcast scheduled to get uploaded, like I do the church services. I would record the program, and I would have it scheduled to go up at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. It would be a 3-hour recorded program, 2 to 3 hour recorded program, mostly 2 hours. As a matter of fact, I've chopped down a lot of my music programs down to 2 hours, except for live shows. Live music shows will always be 3 hours. The recorded music shows will only be 2. Now, the nighttime versions of my smooth jazz, which is my smooth evening I did Thursday night, the Positive Rock Show, which I do on Sunday night, those are 2-hour versions of the Christian Rock Show. We only do those for 2 hours. From 9 to 11 on Sunday night is the Positive Rock Show. It's only a 2-hour version, okay? That means the show only runs 2 hours, but the daytime smooth afternoon will always stay at the 3-hour time slot, 3 hours. The evening program, the evening version of the smooth jazz, which was on Thursday night, will remain at 2 hours. 9 to 11 p.m. with a short abbreviated easy nights. Now, on the first Friday of the month when we do our smooth afternoons, we do jazz in the evening, and then we'll do a full 2 to 3 hours, mostly 2 hours of easy nights. We might increase that at one point when I have a build-up of easy nights recorded, because those are automated, non-stop, soft music. So those programs will definitely get an extension on their program schedule. We'll have that. But other than that, nighttime music shows, nighttime versions of our shows will always be 2 hours. The daytime versions will be 3. Otherwise, most of the music shows are going to be 2 hours. The shows that are going 2 hours are going to be the Bluegrass Jubilee, Classic Country, and also Music in Memories, and Crooners will still remain at 2 hours. The Good Times Great Oldie Show, 2 hours. But we will have those 3-hour extravaganzas with the oldies weekends. We're going to still do golden weekends. Now, when we do a golden weekend, which I'll let you know when we're going to do that. When we do golden weekends, I'm thinking about what I'll do there. I'll let you know about it. I'll have a posting, a live 15-minute preview. 40. Now, I'm going to be doing an oldie show within this spontaneous week. Thinking about an oldie show, and I will preview that. Those daytime oldie shows will still remain at 3 hours. The oldie shows I make sound like the AM days. Okay, so that still sounds like the AM. It's a slash between the 1960s AM days and the FM rock of the 70s. Late 60s, early 70s, FM album rock. So it's kind of a mixture of all that. Those programs will remain, but those shows, other than that, all music shows will be 2 hours unless they're in special schedule, and they're on weekends. And that'll be the Golden Weekend for Good Times Great Oldie Show, an 80s weekend, and that will be for Back to the 80s. That'll be an 80s weekend. I'll have that planned out. Every other month we'll do an 80s weekend. Every other month we'll do an oldies weekend. Some months we might even do both back-to-back weekends of one weekend oldies, one weekend 80s. I'm looking at that possibly this summer during our spontaneous summer. I've got a spontaneous summer promotion, and I'll be working on that one. That will be the plan. Now, we're going to do this trial schedule in May, and that trial schedule works. We'll be using it, but we'll go off schedule again for the summer, and we'll do spontaneous stuff like we're going to do spontaneous week. So that will be what we have planned. All programs other than that, like the Gary Russin program, Sports Page, Radio, Television, and Movie Classics, and Way Out There will remain at 3 hours. Those are the talk shows. And we'll continue doing those with 3 hours. And the other programs will be 1 to 2 hours. So, again, this week is Spontaneous Week. No program scheduled. It's going to be all programs are subject to change. And like I said before, I'll let you know. It's going to all be TBD, which stands for to be decided. Okay, to be decided. That means that it'll be where I will post an hour to 45 minutes before airtime. That means an hour before I go on the air, or I plan to go on the air, I will go on my Gary John side of Facebook and go on the Gary John side of Spreaker, which is only 15 minutes, and I'll give you a 15-minute preview of what's coming up, what we're going to be doing on the air in the following hour. So that's how we're going to do that. And along with that, if I have any comments or things that I want to talk about, Ed Delgado gave me this idea. I like the idea. I've got this. I thought about this a lot of times watching OBFSU do it. And our Big Fat Soft Underbelly, another fabulous podcaster. And you can tune to him every Wednesday night here on Spreaker with Simone Nicole. Plays a lot of good music. And gives you tips on different food preparations and different things like that. So you want to tune in Wednesday night for that. Simone Nicole right here on Spreaker, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 6 o'clock Pacific, right here on Spreaker. That's 9 o'clock Eastern. So tune in to that here on Spreaker. puts on a really good show and talks a lot about this stuff. And he knows a lot of stuff. He's a smart man. So tune in for that. But you want to listen to this broadcast. Anyway, like I said before, that's how it's going to go from now on. This week, spontaneous week, TBD week. That means to be decided. Starts tomorrow with Christian programming. We might do something special. My wife will probably come on with me. We're going to do something, talk about some Christian messages and different things like that. And I'll play Christian rock later on in the evening, 9 to 11. Remember, all Christian rocks on Sunday night, and all nighttime music shows will be 2 hours. Daytime music shows, 3. Unless I decide to do an extra additional hour. Okay? Easy nights, 2 hours. Except on a Thursday night jazz broadcast, which is 9 to 11, they'll only have 1 hour of easy nights. But easy nights might expand on the first Friday of the month. Remember, this week, this month, the month of April, we're going to start a little differently. First off, the smooth jazz, smooth afternoon, smooth jazz will not be heard at the top of this month coming up. April 3rd and 4th and 5th, we are not going to be doing the smooth jazz. We're going to do that the following week, which would be, that will be the following week, which would be April 10th, 11th, and 12th. Reason for that is because I'm making room for different things that we might have to do, and it's part of the spontaneous week that I have planned. So we're going to be doing spontaneous week. No program scheduled this week. And like I said, the smooth jazz will be moved up a week. There will be no crooners or radio, television, and movie classics this month, as I'm working on a couple of new episodes. So I'm working on those. Way out there, way out there, the last 7 days and Way Out There will be heard on the third week of the month. I'm working on another episode of Way Out There, and I'm going to be planning that one out. So I've got a few more things to do with that show. And I also returning to the airwaves this month, Bluegrass Jubilee. I've got that staying in its original time slot, as well as Classic Country. Those two shows have not been on for a while. Classic Country was a brand new show I debuted last February. That never aired, so we're going to start a season of that program. That program will have a season, and it will probably be starting this month. So that will be a season of that show. Good music, classic country. All your all-time favorite country hits. We're going to go way back to Hank Williams. We're going to dig out some of those. We're going to play some real old country classics, and then we'll play some of your favorites from the 70s and 80s as well. Classic country. And then we'll follow that up by Bluegrass Jubilee. And this will be a Wednesday broadcast. Some of these programs will be pre-recorded as podcast and uploaded later. So those shows will be pre-recorded. They will not be live, but I will plan on some live classic countries too as well during the spontaneous time of the month, the spontaneous week. I'll be working on that idea for a classic country. Also, during the spontaneous summer, I'll do various classic country shows. So tune in for that. That'll be coming up during that time period. Also, the return of Radioland. I've got to write some more new episodes, but I'm planning on returning Radioland to the airwaves and reruns. Some of the past Radiolands we've done. So we're going to have a combination of full day of classic radio, old-time radio programs that will be part of the Nostalgia Day, which would be when we do nothing but music and memories, crooners, radio, television, and movie classics, and Radioland. So that will be something we're going to do here on Gjrb Online, here on Spreaker. So those are some of the programs we have planned out. And of course, a short version of Way Out There. I'm planning on something like that, a 2-hour Way Out There. And basically they will be dedicated to just interviews. If I can get guests, and I'm working on that with the Pod Chaser, I'm going to be working on interview programs, interview recordings. So we're going to be working on that one. And that will be something we're going to do too, including a rebroadcast of the first interview I ever done with J.M. Board that I aired 2 years ago. That was the one back in August 25th, and I think that was of 2017. I'm going to rebroadcast that one. That was a good interview. So we're going to have that as a Way Out There, and we'll do special Way Out There's that are short ones, 2 hours maybe, 1.5 to 2 hours. There'll be short shows, and there'll be old interviews and various little features that I did on past Way Out There's. So tune in for those. Those will be fabulous. I'll also include some interviews with George Norrie's guests, replays of some of those. And we're going to do that. And also working on an interview with Dave Scott, host of Spaced Out Radio. Looking to do that because I have said I was going to do that. And I need to get a hold of that Megan Gjrb, who is a expert in the field of astro travel, which I'm thinking about putting on for a Way Out There show. So we got all that coming up. So tune in to GJRB Online throughout the month of April. All of the month of April is going to be spontaneous, except for some scheduled programming. Other than that, spontaneous month. And that means that all programs are going to be on whatever, whenever. And throughout the month of April, and this is going to start starting tomorrow, with Spontaneous Week, the whole month of April here on GJRB Online will be spontaneous. So we're going to have some programming that we haven't had on for a while, classic country, the Good Times Great Oldies show coming on, Good Times Great Oldies, 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll. We're going to do that. We got a lot of good stuff planned in the month of April here on GJRB Online. So I hope you'll tune in to GJRB Online in April for these broadcasts as I get things squared away for another scheduled month in May. So keep it here on GJRB Online. Spontaneous month starts tomorrow right here on GJRB Online. This has been a GJRB Online special schedule update podcast on the GJRB Online Network. This is the GJRB Online Network.